See? That was a cup. Stylish.
How was that useful at all?
Ah, superpower. Such a cool concept that's featured in so many different forms of media. And like most of the kids, at some point I wish that superpowers were real. But when you really stop and think about it, some of these powers are mad unnecessary. Like for instance, look at Wolverine's powers. Yes, advanced healing is a good ability for everyday life, but what do you need retractable claws for? Number one, these things definitely hurt OD.
Is he dumb? Like, bro, having retractable claws would be tough. Imagine all shit you could do with that. You can climb on top of buildings with that. Spider-Man shit. You can cut niggas. Who do want to cut niggas? And then, say you gotta fight somebody, right? And they got weapons. You ain't got no weapon in sight. Shing, nigga, all y'all niggas fucking dead. Who wants some smoke? Nah, nigga, I'm about to shank all you bitch ass niggas. Like, that shit low-key tough.
Come on. It's not like you wake up and gotta deal with like 20 ninjas trying to kill you or something. And if we be honest, if you got 20 people coming after you because you did something, then they might have some justification.
What did he do to make them niggas that mad?
Wolverine gotta deal with nonsense like this. And that's, you don't have to deal with all that. Not to mention that if the government discovers you, they're gonna make you become a super soldier, either the easy way or
the hard way.
I never seen this before. Never seen that before.
Same thing goes for the people who want to learn the Kamehameha or have Saitama strength. And I know it would be awesome to have that stuff. We've all wanted to fire off ki blasts in our life. But if you hit a regular human with a Kamehameha, they're going to get eviscerated. Look at what happened to my bean brother Nappa. Bro got done straight dirt. Look at his face right now. It's the definition of overkill. What world-threatening nemesis do you have that you feel unnecessary to blast them off the face of the earth?
Now listen, if I got this ability, all you young niggas with switches, all you YNs, y'all want to be tough ass niggas, y'all getting hit with a Kamehameha. I'm blasting y'all niggas away, cause why the fuck you nigga think that cause y'all got switches with Glocks and shit that I can't blow y'all niggas away with my powers? Like, I'm gonna blow the fuck out of you niggas. No Diddy.
Frieza, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, Mojo Jojo. I mean, I guess you could blow up planets if you're not using it on people, but what do you need to do that for? Essentially, you're gonna be living your life the exact same way, but I guess you could sleep comfortably knowing that you could punch someone to a new dimension if you want to. And don't even get me started on the Mangekyo Sharingan, and let me be specific, not the regular Sharingan. Okay, it gives me a cool ability, but it's gonna require me to go through intense trauma to awaken it. You got Negroes going blind if they use it too much, and you think I'm gonna lose my eyesight just to use Amaterasu on a couple people? That's clown activity. And if I don't want to go blind, I gotta take other people's eyes? I'm gonna take a pass on that. The Susanoo may be cool, but it's not worth all that. And don't worry, I didn't forget about those people who want OP abilities like Death Touch or the Death Note. And my question to them would be, are you crazy? I am going to assume that you're a psychopath if you want the ability to just off someone just by riding in a...
I ain't gonna lie. If I had the Death Note, bro, all y'all dying. And I don't mean in the sense like, y'all just, I found like you usually gonna die. Nah, nigga. I'm committing the world genocide. The whole planet dead. Hell dead. If different realities and shit like that do exist, they dead too. I'm not stopping with just us. I'm going past and beyond. Everybody dead. Everything dead. Shit. I'm gonna be the last thing standing. No matter right then, I'm dead. Everybody on the world dying if I get a Death Note. I'm not gonna lie. Don't hand me that shit. We all dead.
A notebook or just by touching them with your pinky, bro. You only want that ability if you have a crazy bloodlust or you want to move like Light Yagami and become the ruler of the world. Then there are actually genuinely useless abilities like sticky hairballs or that guy with the tail in My Hero. Gang, stop being a hero, bro. It's not a power, it's a mutation. And before I see someone say, Alama-sama, he makes the power work for himself, I don't care. There are people like Bakugo who can shoot explosions from his hands. Let those people handle the work. If you go out in any large-scale battle, you're just gonna serve as a meat shield for them. It's not worth it. Then you got like half the devil fruits in One Piece. Like, what do you need the jacket fruit for? If you eat that, you might as well just go jump in the water, because living your life as a jacket man is not worth living. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all today. Peace out.
Jacket shit though, but I'm going
Superpowers are supposed to be something that only exists in fiction. They're typically needed to fight supernatural foes and threats, but when translating some of these powers to real life, some of them kind of lose their value, whether it be because they're not needed or the fact that the average human can't use them easily. Last time we covered some of the most useless superpowers to have in real life, and I felt like making another one of those videos because, to be honest, I didn't even get through half the powers yet. So here's a lot more that you will probably never use in real life if you had them. First off, we got the Infinity Gauntlet, and for this video's purposes, I'm going to be referring to the MCU version. As we all know, a gauntlet powered by all the Infinity Stones is extremely overpowered. Heck, even one of these stones by themselves is OD. Think about how many Marvel movies were centered around found one Infinity Stone. There's a bunch of things each stone can do. You can make yourself stronger, warp reality, manipulate time, travel through space, mind powers, and have power over your own soul. And the gauntlet just takes all these factors to the next level and makes you a one-man army. There's the fact that you can snap and wipe out half the life in the universe. Tony wiped out an entire army, and he can even pull a Thanos in.
Use the stones to destroy the stones.
Even though it's kind of stupid, but you get the point. But there's one very small problem. How many times are you going to use this thing? Think about it. If you got the Infinity Gauntlet right now in real life, you're probably not even going to be able to wield the thing. Let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say you can actually lift this hunk of metal up. You get one use before you get deleted. This thing can only be used by the Hulk and Thanos safely because they can withstand gamma radiation. Last time I checked, us regular humans can't do that. Why do you think Tony got packed up when he used it? Heck, even one stone can't be handled by a human. Star-Lord tried to hold it and started breaking apart. This boy needed the power of friendship to save him. And if we're being really specific, Star-Lord wasn't.
Okay, he not lying. He not lying. See, I was finna say, hand me that shit and I'm gonna be unstoppable, but I forgot all about the nigga Star-Lord and the rest of them, like getting fucking cooked by the shit and needing to hold hands and all of that in order to not get cooked. Like, I was about to say I could do that shit, I could really do that, but looking at it now, I couldn't handle all that power.
Even a full human back then in the first movie, so you'll probably get vaporized if you try to hold the stone. The most likely option for the gauntlet is that it will end up like the Nintendo Power Glove.
It's so bad.
You're gonna have this junk laying in the corner of your room collecting dust. Oh yeah, this is one gonna get a few of y'all mad. Next up, we're gonna talk about the Gum Gum fruit, or as it's actually known as the.
Whoa! Nigga, if I had this, you know what I'd be doing, bro? I'd be a porn star, nigga. Gummu Gummu, meat stick. The fuck is you talking about? My window was open. My neighbor just heard me. He tweaking.
Hito no Mi Mado Nika. But for this video's purposes, I'm just gonna call it the Gum Gum fruit. This thing is basically pointless in real life. When you eat the fruit, as far as we know, your body becomes rubber and you have the properties of rubber. You're immune to.
Exactly. How is that not useful? Bruh. You know how many instances you could use gum gum? Something too high. Dang! Bring it back down. You get shot by a gun. Cause you know these young niggas switches nowadays, they crazy. You get shot by a gun, the gun fruit save you because bro, bullets can't go through the rubber. You saved. Right.
So electricity can bounce back bullets. We're gonna come back to that one.
Right, can bounce back bullets. If I get surrounded by a whole bunch of YNs with switches, and I got this fruit, I'm saved. I can't die. This is the most useful shit the world has known. Can't even cap.
One later, etc. This means you can kind of rocket around the place and you'll have some decent mobility. First off, we gotta acknowledge that this fruit takes a lot of mastery and training to even use properly. It took Luffy 10 years of extensive training to even aim his Gum Gum pistols well and actually get control of his stretching. So it's gonna take like 10 years for you to start throwing out East Blue.
See, what he doesn't understand is Luffy was a kid when he first ate it up. So of course it's gonna take him a little minute because he's still a kid. He's not really trying to hone this shit. Now, if you a grown or older person, you could probably hone it in like a 2 or 3 years minimum. Because it would seem a little bit like easier to use. But when you a kid, you're not as strong as you will be when you older. Like, he didn't even go through puberty yet. This is when he went through puberty and shit, you feel me?
Luffy moves. Not to mention the fact that you have to be creative enough to actually create your own moves. And this isn't a problem by itself, but I know when most people think of getting Luffy's fruit, they think about Gear 5 and all of Luffy's cooler moves. Bro, I'll keep it a buck. You might be lucky if you can even unlock Gear 2 or 3. You know how long it took for Luffy to awaken this fruit? He awakened this junk at 19, and he ate the fruit as a 7-year-old. Man, add the fact that he was the first person to awaken this fruit since Joy Boy was alive. That means the fruit hasn't been awakened for like 800 years. That means mad people have had this fruit in the past and got murked before even attempting to awaken it. Luffy is literally the second coming of Joy Boy after 800 years. If you become one with the fruit's intentions, that means you're Joy Boy. And let me tell you this now, gang, you're not Joy Boy. And it was no easy journey to awaken this fruit. He's had to fight dozens of opponents, die a couple times, free some islands, and only then was he able to awaken the 5th gear. Oh yeah, back on that bullet point I talked about earlier, the Marines only use completely round bullets, so it won't pierce Luffy's skin. But we are not using muskets nowadays. There are some pointed bullets in real life, so don't think you can go into a war Warzone and just start bouncing back a bunch of bullets. You're gonna get shot up and look like Swiss cheese. While we're at it, let's talk about our good old friend's devil fruit, Akainu. Now I know most of y'all watching this video probably teenagers, maybe early 20s. This means that you are probably at school for a majority of the day and you go home to chill or do work. If you're working, it's probably something similar. You go to your job and you come back home. If you ever walked around and said, I need to hit this guy with some magma. If I see someone in the comments saying, nah man, this guy was yapping too much, so I needed a magma fist to deal with him, you're lying. Akainu's devil fruit makes you a literal magma man. You're made of magma. This man throws a magma fist and chunks are flying off of people's bodies. He can rain magma from the sky. When will you ever need something as dangerous?
I ain't gonna lie, if I had that, I'll low-key crash out on everybody. Like, I just start just blasting niggas with magma. Like, you wanna get on my nerves today? Chest to your stomach. Oh, you wanna talk shit? Blowing your car up. Oh, you think you tough? Set your house on fire. Like, can't nobody tell me shit if I have
dangerous as magma in your everyday life. You can't just clean up lava easily. The amount of property damage you'll cause will be catastrophic considering you're a walking volcano.
Who gonna stop me even if I do cause it? I ain't gotta pay shit.
The only benefit you get with this fruit is the Logia intangibility, which I guess makes your life a bit safer at the cost of burning everyone in sight. Hold on, before I get into my blue-eyed goat, if you've made it this far into the video, you might as well like the video and subscribe if you're new. I drop content like this every single week. Anyways, back to the video. We also should mention a certain man who's known as the strongest in his verse, and that's because of his curse technique in his eyes. However,
you better not say that. You better not say Infinity is useless. Boy, I smacked that fire out your
basically all this man's bag is useless in real life. And I'm not talking about Infinity because that's realistically his only technique that wouldn't cause much chaos in real life because it's not too destructive. First off, we can talk about his domain expansion Unlimited Void. And for the sake of this argument, let's assume we can use it on regular people because it would be completely useless if you couldn't use it on anyone. If you activate this domain, people are getting an unimaginable amount of knowledge in a short period of time. It's basically an infinite amount of knowledge. Basically,
I'm not gonna lie, if I could use Infinite Void though, or Unlimited Void on people in real life, every nigga who think he's smarter than me, oh, you think you was smart ass? You think you smarter than me, bitch? Yoichi Tenkai. Now your ass brain dead for the rest of your life because you want to talk shit. I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna spam that shit. I'm gonna spam it so much that you can't spam it no more.
it's like being in a 4th period physics class after lunch. Your brain is being fried. Gojo used 0.2 seconds of his domain and all these people couldn't function in society for 2 months. Imagine you accidentally kept the domain open for like a second. You're basically making people vegetables if they get caught in it. Then we can talk about his actual techniques being red, blue, and purple. Now, the hollow purple memes are hilarious, but we gotta be realistic here. I know most of y'all watching are not murderers. Probably. So you aren't gonna send out imaginary mass and erase your teacher from existence. Seriously, if you are about to get mugged and you hollow purple someone, you're going way overkill. Look at what happened to Toji. So many buildings just have a crater in them now because he wanted to delete one person. Dedo even said it himself that Gojo can't run at full power when people are around. Unless you're insane or something and don't care for the people around you, if you ever encounter someone you actually need to fight, you better be in a forest or another secluded area. Because any move you throw out is going to destroy a large chunk of the area around you and likely get a bunch of people caught in it. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all today. I'd like to apologize for the lack of uploads and community.
I don't really care people too much, so I'll just spam it. Like I'll just boom.
Wanna save us both some time and tell me what these mods do before I take you to prison or after?
Okay, so it's been a couple months since I've done one of these videos, and the last video seemed to have a very positive reception, so I thought it would be a good idea to drop another one of them, because there are still way too many useless abilities that need to be covered. So in this video, we're going to be talking about some more useless superpowers to have in real life. Now, before I start mentioning some new abilities, I wanted to address some of the grievances in the last video, because there were quite a bit of them. First off, I want to address Akainu's devil fruit again, the magma fruit, and I will stand on this fruit being garbage in real life, because seriously, this fruit is way too destructive to even apply to real life scenarios. Sure, there's the Logia intangibility, but if you have the choice of Logia, there are way better and more convenient options. With this fruit, your only options are to either continue your regular life or become a world-renowned criminal. More on that later. And don't tell me that you'll be the best hero.
Why wouldn't, if I had that, bro, I'll be at the top of the world. I'll just rob niggas, I ain't gonna lie to you. You getting robbed. I'm robbing you, gang. You can run if you want. You're getting robbed. Like, there's no second guessing it. You're getting robbed. You might die in the process of getting robbed too. But I mean, like, you asked for this. I ain't tell you to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't tell you to come get robbed. You asked for it. For messing with me.
hero with this fruit because you will be a bigger threat to civilians than any other villain could hope for. We already know how Akainu was moving during Marineford. Imagine you miss a magma fist and just destroy someone's car, or shoot, you put a crater through a building. Heck, you might even burn someone to ashes by accident. You're gonna be getting some type of lawsuit and getting put in jail for arson. Then there's Luffy's Gum Gum fruit, which I'll admit that I've sold a bit short. I forgot to mention that there is the immunity to blunt damage, so realistically the only problem you'd be having would be learning how to actually control the stretching. But the immunity to blunt damage is probably the only benefit you'll get from it, mostly because electricity immunity is fairly niche. It's still alright, but it's not the crazy Gear 5 shenanigans that you see in the series. Also, the imagination portion of this fruit is not as potent as some of y'all think. Don't go around thinking that you're gonna be summoning meteors from the sky just because you imagined it. And then finally, I found that many comments shared a similar tone with the possibility of gaining superpowers. Just become a criminal. I've come to realize that it's possible that my audience consists of a lot more menaces than I previously thought, because some of y'all can't be trusted with powers. Now, contrary to popular belief, I am not a criminal, nor do I want to be a criminal if I have powers. Sure, no one would be able to stop you in theory, but then you gotta live the whole criminal lifestyle, like not associating with your family to preserve their safety, amongst other things, which is a lot less convenient than one would think. Then there are also people who are talking about world domination, and I believe that you guys should never ever get your hands on power. You'd be the mustache twirling villain that starts murking people for no reason. So with all that out of the way, it's time to finally talk about the first useless power on the list, One for All. Now this power is actually one of the worst you can get in real life in my opinion, due to how much recoil there is on your body. First off, you can't even think about using One for All at full strength ever unless it's a life or death situation. Like I'm talking about
fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it.
Cause there are way too many injuries that come with the full power punch. This man Deku was breaking his arms each time he used a full power Detroit Smash, and this was after having a decent amount of training with All Might. Your limbs might actually explode off your body if you try to punch someone recklessly, and personally I think a detached limb would guarantee a trip to the ER. Plus, I know for a fact no one watching this video got the money to deal with broken arms or legs every other week, and plus Deku was getting his arms healed by Recovery Girl, so he ain't have to spend much time recovering from his injuries. You on the other hand will be waiting a calm 3 months to recover from shattered bones, not to mention the fact that Deku was suffering long-lasting damage after using his arms too much, so you can expect that to happen to you as well if you throw hands too much. But besides the potential of getting OD,
I don't think he realizing that I watched the new CJ the Champ vid. Nah, I haven't seen it yet. I don't think he failing to realize though, like if you had Deku's powers, it's different. Every All for One or One for All like character has different like shits. Like All Might, his shit wasn't full cowl or nothing. He was actually just he was straight not getting injured because he had different like type of, you know what I'm saying? Like Deku had straight punches. All Might had wind in his shit. His wasn't punches. Go watch out.
The hospital bills, you also gotta remember that there's a chance you won't even be able to fulfill the full potential of One for All. Deku had so many resources at his disposal to help him train, and we don't have those UA level training facilities in the real world. Even if you manage to learn full cowling, you better be real slow trying to raise the power of it. Number one, you're gonna have to be training by yourself, because I don't expect any human on earth wanting to fight with someone who can punch out city blocks with ease. Number two, you're gonna have to follow the steps Deku was taking to a T and try your best not to mess up horrifically. What are you gonna do? You go 20% full cowling immediately? That's just asking to mess up your body. And don't even talk to me about the other quirks in One for All. We saw how much mayhem was caused when Deku first discovered Black Whip. If this happens in public with a bunch of people around, you're gonna have a J. Jonah Jameson on your head every single time you try to walk around the city.
I can't stand Spider-Man. I can't stand him.
I don't know about that.
I hate him.
Staying in the My Hero verse, we got Dabi's cremation quirk, but honestly, this part is going to be mostly about Dabi, cause it's truly a horrific combo for him. Essentially, Dabi's body is more resistant to cold temperatures than hot cause of his mom, so anytime he uses his fire, he gets burnt, which means that he can't even use his power for real without literally cooking his skin. If you were in Dabi's situation, why would you ever use this quirk? It only seems to hurt you. Like sure you got strong flames, but I can get the same effect with an aerosol can and a lighter. Use this quirk too much and you'll just end up as a flaming corpse with no chance of recovery. I can see why bro was so mad with his brother, cause I would be tight too. You're basically the failed experiment of the family. Now the last quirk I want to cover again is this freaking tail quirk, cause I still got a lot of gripes with it. I talked about it in the first video, but let's be real, the channel was in a drastically different place than it is now. First off, I need you guys to level with me here. You guys can really call me anything, like stupid, short, a fraud, whatever, but one thing I refuse to be called is crazy for calling this quirk garbage, because quite frankly it's extremely useless. No matter what, you cannot convince me that this tail wasn't just some result of some radiation mutation or something that got passed down genetically. The doctors probably saw this kid with the big tail and realized that this kid got no quirk and were like, you know what? Just tell the kid that the tail is his quirk, that should work. Like, this thing just looks so inconvenient. I'm assuming that the tail just grew from the tailbone already in humans, so I can only imagine how annoying it would be to get clothes with this 3-foot appendage quite literally between your cheeks. You're gonna have to get your clothes tailor-made or something. Also, any description of this quirk is actively coping. Heck, anyone who thinks this is some S-tier quirk in general is just coping. Sturdy tail. Okay. I don't care about the agility or breaking metal or whatever. What are you going to do with this quirk? Don't think you're gonna go speed blitzing anyone with this power as soon as you get it. Martial arts is like the only thing that can pair well with this quirk, and I know a large majority of us are not black belts in martial arts, so you gotta spend like 3 years learning to try to make some use of this tail. But if you're already a black belt in martial arts, just stick with that. You don't need no tail for that. And some of y'all in the comments are gonna be on my head about this part, so let's just make a hypothetical. Let's say Electro is running rampant in New York City. You use your tail to grab him, electrocuted. Try to jump in the air with your tail, electrocuted. Anything you do, you get bodied. And this will be very accurate to the show because I feel like I've only seen this guy get rocked. Next ability we got is another revisit. It's basically any big name ki blast in Dragon Ball, like the Final Flash, the Kamehameha, Galick Gun, etc. Now I know this one will be a bit controversial because we've all tried to fire off a Kamehameha. It's just the rite of passage. And quite frankly, if someone gave me the option to take ki blast as an ability, I would definitely take it. But that still doesn't eliminate the fact that the strongest forms of these ki blasts are way too strong to be practical in real life. Sure, the average pea shooter blast isn't blowing up the planet, but something like the Final Flash is a bit different. These blasts can level mountains easily. Heck, even charging one up is gonna be felt by a lot of people. And then there's the grim possibilities of missing the blast. What happens if you blow up the moon by accident or on purpose? I know how some of y'all be moving. You are running the risk of destroying so many things in the world every time you fire off one of these big name blasts. Legitimate question, what type of ops do you have in your life that requires a Galick Gun? Unless you are actively looking for violence.
Let me tell you that. Nowadays, niggas have all types of ops. You ain't even gotta get your own type of op. They just spawn inside of your life. You know what I'm saying? I could be having a very blossomy, cheerful day, and the dude just say, "Run your pockets, son. Run me your pockets, son." And I'm just sitting there, star-flamed. Oh no, I'm finna get robbed. Ha me! He dead. Niggas around might be dead too. But that ain't my problem. Y'all got it my way. Y'all gotta take that. Y'all gonna take it like a man.
And someone to blast, some pistol with the switch is getting the job done the same way. And I know a switch is illegal, but these big name blasts might as well be illegal as well. If you're new and enjoying the video so far, you might as well subscribe. We on the road to 50K, so I'd appreciate it a lot. Anyways, back to the video. Next up, I want to talk about how bad being a Jinchuriki would be in real life. My friend brought it up to me after my last video, and I thought it was a really good point. We all know that being a Jinchuriki in the Naruto world is garbage. You got organizations hunting you down and trying to murk you just because of the tailed beast inside of you. And in the village most of the time, once you dead, and ostracizes you from society. You get treated like a third-class citizen and a grade A threat. But in my opinion, the societal problems will probably not be as big of a deal in our world. The real issues start when you think about the fact that you have an actual demon inside of you, and you have to try to control them. Because oh my goodness, will these demons take the chance to run rampant? If you get someone like Shukaku, you're cooked. You can't get no sleep because Shukaku will take control as soon as you hit the bed. To be honest, you gotta have your emotions completely unlocked because you run the risk of having the tail beast take over. And I know there's a lot of people who would let their tail beast run rampant in a moment of weakness. You get your heart broken, boom, Kurama just destroyed half the city. But there's the chance that you can manage to siphon off some of the power of the tailed beast. Even if you do that, most of the forms are still garbage. This man Naruto's skin was burning and peeling off during transformation because of the chakra alone, and he ain't even have control of this form. Even some of the upper forms of the tailed beast chakra cloaks could risk death if the tailed beast decides to take away your chakra too quickly. So basically, you gotta hope your tailed beast isn't annoying and wants to cooperate with you. There's not much you can really do on your side. Then you also need to hope that no one wants to do any experiments on you, because the government would definitely be interested in someone with enhanced healing, strength, speed, etc. And for the next power on the list, after some further deliberation, I've concluded that having a Susanoo would probably not be super crazy as one would expect. Besides the whole going blind part, which would likely be a pretty bad drawback, the Susanoo also has another deterrent from using it. This thing causes so much pain for the user. Sasuke said it was like pain in every single cell in his body, and it only gets worse with the higher stages. You're not gonna be getting some free giant samurai armor that you're gonna be chilling inside of. As long as you're in it, you're gonna be feeling that pain. Then there's the fact that a perfect Susanoo is like 100 meters tall, so good luck maneuvering that around. I guess you could use it like Sasuke, i.e. use it like a taxi, but then again, your chakra consumption will be cooked. If you can get through all those caveats, you got yourself a pretty good power. Will you be able to handle all those inconveniences though? Most likely not. This last power I want to cover is gonna be handled a bit differently than the others in this video. It has a very special place in my heart. When I was younger, I always liked like the characters with super speed like the Flash, Sonic,
shit.
Quicksilver, etc. And I always thought it would be really good to have super speed in real life. Like I could run at the speed of sound. That sounds amazing. And you know, after growing older, I realized that super speed is so busted it's not even funny. And you don't even need that much speed to be able to win any fight for real. But after I realized this, I realized that all these shows I was watching growing up were all a lie. And yes, this is going to be me ranting about super speed in media, not about how effective it is in real life, because the orangutan at the zoo probably knows that running fast is really effective. Super speed seems to be so worthless in these shows. They always have the hero lose so many brain cells when they have this power, or they'll have the speedster be like the jokester of the group, so he automatically seems weaker than he actually is. Like, I know it's a hard power to ride around, but you shouldn't let anyone get away if you're so fast that everything seems to stop around you. Like look at this. You should be winning every single battle. Remember when Wally beat a Lex Luthor fused with Brainiac with pure speed blitzes? This is how every fight in real life would go if you had even a fraction of Wally's speed. Like, give me super speed and I'm taking it. But if you give me the CW Flash's intelligence as well, then don't even offer it to me. I'd rather get the tail quirk. You're basically giving yourself a lobotomy for the chance to run super fast sometimes. They always have speedsters lose brain cells and act like they can't react to anything being thrown at them when they in fact can easily react and be untouchable. The only cons, if you can even call them cons with super speed, are time travel and super immense speed. Immense speed is only a con because it's kind of just overkill. Like, if you can run at 1% of the speed of light, you'll be more than fast enough to deal with most situations. You don't need to be gathering as much speed as possible to become some sort of god of speed. And if you constantly think that you need more speed, get help or please apply to be a Flash villain or something. Time travel will be kind of a negative because we don't know how it functions in our own world, so you'd actively be trying to learn about the implications and consequences when trying to make changes to the past. You'll probably make and erase a couple alternate timelines in the process, and no one got time for that, pun not intended. And if you try to operate on movie rules, you're actively self-sabotaging. Honestly, the CW Flash and other media have ruined super speed so much that I don't even want it anymore. In theory, you should be able to stop all crime, but there has to be some sort of curse or equivalent exchange when you get this power. The inevitable random IQ drops could truly be the end of some people's lives. Now, there are definitely other powers I want to cover, like Maharaga's adaptation or the Titan shifters, but that'll be for another part, assuming y'all want another installation.
You're not lying, because the super speed shit in TV shows, they have been kind of acting stupid lately. Besides A-Train. A-Train's been smart, but all the other niggas, bro, they been acting stupid as shit. Like, stupid as hell lately. They do the dumbest things, and they'll like make it seem smart. Nigga, wait till after this video, bitch ass nigga.
Y'all know what this is by now. We're back to talk about some more useless powers, because there are still far too many that need to be covered. So enough chit chat, let's get into some of these abilities. For our first order of business, I wanted to spin back on some of the things I said in the second installment of the series. Being wrong is a part of life, and it can be good to admit when you were wrong on something. And I definitely gotta correct and revise one of the takes I made in that video about Gojo's abilities. In that video, I said that besides Infinity, which is essentially the barrier around Gojo, all of their abilities from the Limitless Curse technique were practically useless for IRL scenarios. As we see in JJK, a lot of Gojo's techniques are typically used in a combat sense. However, that doesn't mean that the very nature of some of these techniques are completely doo-doo water for ordinary situations. When I saw Gojo destroy everything in the surrounding area with the max output blue, I thought he could only use blue at max output to destroy things. However, you can use lower outputs of blue and use it as a pseudo telekinesis by manipulating the attraction field. So blue in itself is pretty decent at lower outputs, and you'd probably never need it at max output unless you're interested in creating a pull so strong that everything in the vicinity gets concentrated to a single point, essentially acting as a gravitational wrecking ball. Also, a lot of y'all were telling me that he uses blue to teleport, which I genuinely did not know. I kind of just ignored that part of his abilities and thought he just teleported through other means of space manipulation. But hey man, y'all already know how I feel about teleportation. It's always useful as long as we ignore the scientific implications. But y'all Gojo fans are still gonna have to hear me say that purple and unlimited void are still straight garbage in real life unless you expect to be in the army. Red is, for lack of a better word.
I used purple so many times, bro, in one day. Like, niggas would just be dying. Give me Infinity. Niggas just dying for the fun of it. Like, if I see something I don't like, everything around it dead. I'm mixing red and blue. Something with the imbalance. Purple. Everything dead.
Mid. I really am not sure when you'll need the repulsion of red, because I haven't seen many other applications in the series besides pure offense. You can't even say that you needed to push an object because you can just use blue for that. Anyways, on to the new powers. The first one up to bat is Titan shifting from Attack on Titan. Shifters can transform into giant humanoids, so
okay. Before you say something dumb or something I'm about to argue with, if I get the Founding Titan, Don't even say no more.
They'd be pretty strong. Titan Shifters were pretty consistently portrayed to be formidable opponents throughout the series, and they're the strongest characters if we don't include the Ackerman. There's quite a few different Titan Shifters in the series. There's the Beast Titan, who typically has some type of animal characteristics. Zeke's Titan looked like a monkey and was able to throw rocks and practically anything else like cannonballs. There's the Armor Titan, who has armor, kinda obvious. We got the Warhammer Titan, who can make constructs out of hardened Titan skin. The Jaw Titan has incredible jaw and claw strength. The female Titan is extremely versatile. The Colossal Titan is massive. The Cart Titan has great mobility despite looking like a crocodile and a human fusion in all the wrong ways. Then for some reason, the Attack Titan can look through the memories of future holders of the Attack Titan. I don't know how useful that specific ability would be in real life due to the logistics of actually passing on the Titan, but that's a problem for later. You also got a pretty decent regeneration factor when you're in human form, and that's all of the positives I really got for this power, because it's very clear that if you had this ability in real life, you'd quickly realize how worthless it is. First off, there will be zero sense of privacy when turning into a Titan, so no little secrets or anything, everyone will know. You will be a human about the size of a building, so it's kind of hard to miss. And that's not to mention the fact that there's a giant explosion and lightning anytime you transform. If you see a lightning explosion in the middle of a sunny day, you're gonna know something odd is happening. Also, something that needs to be noted is that even though the Titans are strong, they are not really like that for real. It's not like they have zero weaknesses. The series has already demonstrated that there was anti-Titan technology that was very effective against the Armored Titan. Our modern society is way more advanced than it is in Attack on Titan. If the country wanted to, they could neutralize you without breaking too much of a sweat. If you decide to start destroying stuff, you may cause some damage, but you're not going super crazy. Some of the Titan Shifters are also just underwhelming in general. Like the Armor Titan is cool and will probably be on the more useful side of the 9 Titans, but something like the Colossal Titan is kind of you just sitting there with a lot of hot steam.
No, see, now he's wrong. Let me explain why he's wrong with that. If I was in the war, right? If I'm in the war, I jump out of the airplane, bite my finger. I'm a living nuke. If I jump down from a plane, I'm a living nuke. Jump into the enemy territory. Everything around me dead because I'm literally a nuke. I'm not just steam. I'm a walking nuke. Literally.
The Colossal Titan is really only good for the explosion as long as you're okay being a living nuclear warhead. It's not even like you're that big with the Colossal Titan, as you're still
take that back. He already knew what I was gonna say. Never mind. Take that back.
Significantly shorter than a sky.
I take back what I said. He already knew what I was talking about. Right.
Nuclear warhead. It's not even like you're that big with the Colossal Titan, as you're still significantly shorter than a skyscraper. Something else to keep in mind is that for a Titan to be really effective, some type of combat training might be in order. As we've seen by now, the ability isn't even that great on its own. But there's one thing I haven't even mentioned yet when becoming a Titan Shifter, and it's the biggest drawback of the ability. Once you become a Titan Shifter, you only have 13 years left on your life due to the curse of Ymir. So you cut down your lifespan significantly when you obtain one of the 9 Titans. If you want to pass it on, you gotta have another pure Titan eat you, but I don't know how that'll even work without other Titans existing in our world. So you'll just die in your 20s or 30s, which makes the ability even more worthless than it already is. If anything, it's more of a negative. In terms of real life uses, this power could probably help someone with construction or something, but we already have machines for that, so you'd probably not be too helpful. You'd also risk blowing up the construction site if you transform near it, and your body temperature would probably be too hot to work with. Having a power like this is similar to the Susanoo problem, where it's difficult to maneuver in any densely populated area. I'm not even going to talk about the Founding Titan because of the royal blood requirements. You are basically asking for a death sentence if you want to become a Titan Shifter. Bruh, I don't even know if a lot of the shifters in this series really liked being one that much. Long story short, it would not translate very well to real life. Next up is Maharaga's adaptation, and I know what the title says, but I can't say that this ability is completely useless. Throughout the series, I like to talk about abilities that are absolute trash for real life, but also powers that get their usefulness overstated. I'd say that Maharaga's ability falls under this category, as it depends on how reckless the user of the ability is with it. I think people are gonna believe with an adaptation ability that there's some invincible tank when that's simply not the case. As we all know, Maharaga can adapt to anything, even physical stats. If you're thinking that's a lie, you might not have caught up with the manga. Basically, if Maharaga gets hit with an attack, he starts a process to adapt to said attack. There's a set time limit to this, but if you hit him with the same attack again, the process speeds up. Full adaptation means that Maharaga will be immune to the attack moving forward, and this works for anything, so you'd be able to adapt to diseases or any real health issues, which is very useful to have. But there's a caveat that people always underplay for some reason, and it's the fact that Maharaga needs time to adapt. That's why the main way to beat him is to hit him with an attack hard enough to one-shot him. Although the anime extended it, the fight against Sukuna in the manga was only a chapter and a half long, because Sukuna realized he just needed to hit him with a strong enough attack before he started adapting. So as long as you're not crazy with what you want to adapt to, you'll have a really good ability. However, I know y'all well enough at this point to know some of you guys are still Arkham Asylum patients who will do the wildest thing you could think of with this power. One of y'all are gonna jump in
What I do with my heroic shit, bro, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna catch AIDS. Actually, let me not say that. I don't want to get banned. Let me not say that. I don't want to get cooked off YouTube. But actually no. Let me say something. I'm gonna catch a certain type of disease, and I'm gonna give it to the whole world. And then I'm gonna adapt to that disease. I'm gonna get rid of it. So I'm gonna just be hitting motherfuckers from the back, just giving them different types of health issues while not having it, because I'm adapting.
In front of a truck on the highway, then realize you can't adapt to anything if you're already dead. No type of healing factor gonna help you if you just get outright one shot. And that's another thing that needs to be talked about. It's the healing factor of the adaptation. The adaptation will help you heal the injuries, but it can only do so much. You can get shot once and heal it up fine, but if someone immediately dumps an entire clip into you, it's still gonna leave you hurting if you're not fully adapted yet. This happened during the Maharaga versus Sukuna fight in the manga, where Maharaga was crawling
Hold on. Alright, back to watching this shit. They started cussing and shit.
on the ground after the domain expansion. Also, the adaptation doesn't always necessarily mean healing every time. It could be something else, such as helping you react to an attack better. I personally feel that if you want to be reckless and have adaptation, it's gotta be a rapid adaptation ability like Darwin's from X-Men. His mutant power would likely serve a more convenient day-to-day purpose. Next up, we got Shigaraki's Decay Quirk, which
You better not say it's not useful. The amount of things I could do with this shit, bro. I'll pick up an apple decay that bitch and be like, give me all your money out of this bank, or y'all gonna be like this apple.
I have no idea why anyone would want this power. It's very clear how detrimental his quirk can be when we saw that in his backstory that his quirk accidentally made him murk his entire family. The power is extremely simple and
I don't see nothing wrong with that. If you gotta kill them, they gotta go. Even if it is on accident.
deadly because it just requires you to touch something or someone with your fingers and they disintegrate at dust, Infinity War style. As the quirk gets stronger, the decay can begin to spread to other things touching the decaying object, creating a domino effect. So you can accidentally level an entire city with ease if you are not careful. And that's my main problem with the quirk. All it does is destroy things. I can't really find another creative use besides that. I promise you, you will.
I don't want to just straight up destroy shit. That sounds fun. Just walking around, just killing niggas for the fun of it. Like, well, I ain't gonna say killing them for the fun of it, but killing them just because I can. Like, people nowadays they too tough, so I just be like, alright, bro. I'll be like, alright, bro, we cool. Dead, killing him with just a touch. Like, the amount of shit I could do with this power.
Will never, ever find yourself needing this quirk. Maybe if you're Joe Goldberg and need to get rid of some evidence, then this quirk will be your best friend. But no one watching this video is moving like Joe Goldberg in real life. Maybe you can become a trash collector and just start destroying trash, but even then that could be risky. You probably wouldn't be able to control the spread very well, so one decaying banana peel that slips out of the bag can destroy a couple houses. If we're being real, it's a worse version of Overhaul because he can break down and rebuild matter. Shigaraki's quirk is just a derivative of Overhaul. Why would you not want Overhaul instead of Decay? Decay is a purely villainous ability. Only evil people are using this ability for real, and hint hint, it's not for good things. And actually, this is a good place to bring this up. In every facet possible, there are a multitude of never-ending battles. Democracy versus communism, lions versus hyenas, Kevin Durant versus hairbrushes. My never-ending battle is with the comments of this series, more specifically, the secret villains in them. It's like y'all are sleeper agents. Y'all hear the prospect of getting powers in real life and start commenting some wild stuff. Like, what on earth is this guy?
What do you mean, world domestically? Y'all speak of spirit?
I talking about the pros of world domination? Then this guy just further
No, we try to see. I mean, you locked in Arkham Asylum. I don't need to be locked in Arkham Asylum. I'm just stating what needs to be said, bro. If I had powers, I would control the world. Who gonna stop? You want to talk shit? Oh, bang, you did. Oh, you want to talk shit? Bow, you did. Oh, you think you can control me with society? Oh, nah. Everybody did. I'm not one of them. I'm just saying that if I had powers, I'm controlling everything. Everything getting controlled by me. I'm gonna be like Homelander, but I'm not gonna be a little bitch. I'm gonna be what Homelander should have been. You need to be like Malcolm Shaw. I'm not a villain.
proves my point with the Kainu's fruit. You finna get served papers for property damage and burn them to death? What's wrong with you? I'm not even coming from a moral standpoint anymore. They are going to find out that you are willing to burn people to death and start using force against you. The government will easily stop you once they realize that your weakness is being submerged in water, which is something they would try to do considering you're generating lava from your body. You're not invincible, bruh. Everyone in the country's government is gonna use everything to catch you. They might even pop out the Men in Black weapons for you. Once they catch you, it's up for you. Game over. You are never seeing the light of day again. Okay, I finally got that off. Before we move on to the next ability, if you're new and enjoying so far, you might as well subscribe. Anyways, it's time to talk about the strongest man in the world, Whitebeard, and his fruit, the Quake fruit. This fruit is one of the key
If you say this fruit is useless in real life, I swear to you.
keys to Whitebeard being such a force in the One Piece verse. The fruit allows the user to create massive shockwaves and earthquakes, and it's as strong as it sounds. This man Whitebeard was causing tsunamis and entire islands to shake with the usage of his fruit. Sengoku famously said he could destroy the world with the fruit, showing how strong it can really be. Now, it's important to know that Whitebeard is a pirate that doesn't really have to follow the rules. It doesn't matter if he accidentally destroys a couple buildings because he's not paying for it. He got a multi-billion-dollar bounty already, so some extra fines will not hurt him in the slightest. You, however, are a regular citizen of society and will need to follow the laws and regulations of our civilization.
Who following the laws? If I got powers, who following the laws?
So if you got this fruit, it probably would not be the best idea to start throwing out a bunch of quake punches at people pressing you because of all the collateral damage. Earthquakes are not some little pushover natural disaster. These things are serious. And considering the fact that Whitebeard could potentially destroy the planet, you'll probably break the Richter scale with some of your moves. It is simply overkill. Who the heck are you fighting to justify using this fruit for offense? Kryptonians? It's far too life-threatening for normal civilians. The fruit can be seen as a threat to friend and foe. If you've played games with a character with ridiculous AoE, that's most of your attacks. You can't even do the whole taking over the world thing very well. The Quake fruit is a paramecia, not a Logia, so you can be touched. And it's not like the fruit improves your speed or durability. You can just make earthquakes. So the classic lead in your chest is putting you on a t-shirt. There's probably 1 out of every 100 scenarios where this fruit will be a net positive for you. Next up, we got cursed speech, and it's not too complex of a curse thing.
I'm gonna say things I do with cursed speech. If I had cursed speech, oh my god. Hold on. Take them pants off. I'm going crazy with cursed speech, nigga. I'm going crazy. If I had cursed speech, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. If I get cursed speech, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. You like a solid. I didn't do nothing wrong yet. I'm just speaking facts. If I had cursed speech, bro, I'm going crazy. No repercussions needed.
Technique to explain. With cursed speech, your words are enhanced with cursed energy, so listeners are compelled to act based on those words.
Shut yourself.
Yes, theoretically you could even do that. Honestly, this power can be abused like crazy with the right or wrong person, but being
Glob on my mob. I'm going crazy.
completely honest, I always thought this power was kind of meh in the series once you learn the extent of it. I know he's a side character, but Inumaki has barely done anything with this ability. Like, you'll have this one cool moment but get sidelined, and he gets sidelined because the recoil for this ability is ridiculous. Different commands require different skill levels. The higher the skill level of the command, the more backlash on the user, aka you, will receive. Why do you think this man Inumaki is always coughing up blood? He can't even use some of the complex commands very much. Shoot, even some of the commands get shrugged off anyways. Granted, it was a special grade curse or a special grade curse user shrugging it off. Theoretically, you can master it, as we've never seen anyone in the series give someone a crazy command with it, but certainly there's a limit to what you can do with it. I doubt any of us would be as skilled as Sukuna or Gojo with Jujutsu to actually make the most of it. And oh yeah, when I said your words are enhanced with cursed energy, I truly meant all of your words. So no more of those things you like to call sentences. You will be forced to speak in food for the rest of your life or get a device that gives you a voice. It's because with normal words, you can risk inadvertently cursing people with cursed speech. If you try to have a normal conversation, you might get the other person murked in the process because of the lack of control. So having this power in real life means I cough up blood because I either overuse the ability or I do something I'm too weak to do. On top of that, I can only speak in food ingredients or whatever to avoid cursing people. What, just so I control a couple times? I will pass on that any day of the week. I'd rather see someone combust into flames. Wait, no, I didn't mean that. Last up is yet another JJK ability, Sukuna's Shrine Technique. In my opinion, it's pretty self-explanatory why you would never need something like this in real life. There are 3 main parts of this ability: Cleave, Dismantle, and the Fire Arrow. Dismantle is the default slash that fires out an invisible slash. You cut up things. It's pretty simple. Cleave is a more unique slash in the fact that it can be adjusted to the durability levels of the enemy to just finish them off in one hit. It's also used while physically touching the opponent. The Fire Arrow is basically a mini nuke that can destroy city blocks and is made of fire. Again, pretty obvious. These abilities sound pretty broken when reading them on paper until you realize that these are sort of Sukuna techniques, if that makes sense. These abilities only work for Sukuna since he's really good at Jujutsu sorcery, but in the hands of anyone else, they're not as effective. Like, if you gave Nobara a Cleave and Dismantle, she's not going to be the strongest in the verse. This same type of logic would likely apply in real life unless you're a prodigy of some sort. So you, my friend, are not going to be that good with using this technique. The slashes might be like paper cuts or will be uncontrollable. I can't even fathom the amount of training you'd need to make this power really good. Also, the technique suffers the same problem a lot of fictional powers have, and it's the fact that the power is mainly combat focused. At the basic level, there really aren't many applications of Cleave and Dismantle besides cutting stuff. If you're a chef, that's cool, but how many of us are really culinary experts? Even if we give you the benefit of having a domain expansion, what will you ever use it for? The only people who want this power are either the
mass genocide. How many times am I gonna say it? If actually, let me keep waiting.
Sukuna fans or the super agent super villains I referred to earlier. So that's another set of power.
He referred to me, bro. If I have Sukuna's curse technique, bro, it's bad.
That I think are kind of to just straight up bad in real life. If y'all want another part to this series, just tell me in the comments because I don't want to overrun the channel with this type of video. With that being said, have a great day and peace out.